to the guy who hasn't cruised in 7 years. I decided almost on a whim that I needed to book another trip, and I booked it and paid for it, and I really didn't put any thought or consideration into what cruising in November would even be like. Living in Georgia, you might expect that we deal with year-round warm temperatures, and that's just not the case. And this November, for whatever reason, has seemed extra dreary and cold. It was extremely difficult to wrap my head around the fact that we're going to be cruising in the Caribbean in warm temperatures and everything. It just never really felt right. I mean, we trick-or-treated, it was cold, then we were going to get on a ship to go to the Caribbean and then come back and have Thanksgiving. Like, none of that really made any sense. I've always cruised in the spring, I didn't know what to expect, and I was a little concerned that, it may be cold on the ship, it may be cold in the ports of call, and, was this going to be the same type trip that I was used to or something completely different? It was cold and it was rainy, but we packed up the car and headed down toward Florida. We decided to drive down a day early and stay in a hotel at Port Canaveral. That way we'd be a lot closer and more convenient to wake up the next morning and drive right over to the port to board the ship.
I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true.
Well, we made it down to Port Canaveral, and we're staying at the Radisson at the port, which is a hotel that I've known about for years. And I think we even parked. They do a cruise parking thing. I think we parked here before, but I don't know that I've ever actually stayed in the hotel. So we booked through hotels.com. It's not a bad place, pretty good size, got a living room and a bedroom with 2 beds. It's really all you need. And it was the cheapest room in the direct Cape Canaveral area. However, as far as rooms go, I mean, it's humid. I don't know how else to describe it. I feel like I'm sweating and getting perspiring or something from the humidity level. It's a room. So we're going to get up in the morning and board Carnival Vista for our trip, and we're super excited, but I think we're going to crash, try to get some extra sleep, get up for our 11:30 boarding time in the morning. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, too bad. It's not time to leave. We had scheduled our boarding time for 11 to 11:30, which worked out pretty well, and it was really not crowded and not complicated, and it seemed like we walked just straight onto the ship as if we had priority boarding. I believe Carnival Vista started sailing the year we stopped cruising, so even though it was a ship we had not been on before, it was not brand new. And though I do think the ship could use a little upgrading, overall it was a very nice ship. I appreciated the concept of the new self-muster situation, but what was a little confusing was there was some talk that we were supposed to see a video and then get on the ship, report to our muster station, and then be on our way. Not that it's a big deal, but I never saw the video. I don't know at what point I was supposed to see it or where or whatever, but I never saw that.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome aboard the Carnival Vista. My name is Brendan, part of your flight.
Since we had an early breakfast, boarded the ship around 11:30, and then the cabins weren't going to be ready till 1:30, it was the perfect time for lunch. Juicy burgers from Guy's Burger Joint and a couple tacos from Blue Iguana Cantina really hit the spot. Now don't forget, this was Jackson's first cruise, so after eating, we walked around, kind of show him the ropes, the way the ship's laid out, and the views and everything, and I really enjoyed getting to watch him take all this in for the first time. It made me remember my first cruise when I was 14, and here he is doing his at 12.
Barely kissed me. What? Might have been better.
Jackson was super excited to check out the water slides, so we thought ahead enough to pack his swimming trunks in a carry-on bag so he could change and immediately get to playing. I watched the boy have some fun and then decided to go check to see if our cabin was ready. Now, when we booked, we did get to choose our cabin, but there was only one ocean view cabin left at the time that we booked, and it was all the way down at the bottom of the ship. When I went down to check it out, the steward had already set up the couch to be a bed for Jackson and already made a king-size bed for me and Marlena. Clean and comfortable cabin, and this was the first one I've ever had that had both a bathroom with a shower and a sink and a toilet, and then another bathroom with a sink and a tub that could also be used as a shower.
I ain't never had a bathtub on a cruise ship. Cool. Awesome. I'm on board Carnival Vista, and so far the ship is wonderful. And I really don't know if that's like because I haven't been on a ship in 7 years or because this is a fantastic ship, but so far this is a fantastic ship. I'm so excited. We're having a good day. Even though the weather's a little bit weird. I mean, it's November 13th. We're not normally cruising this time of year. We actually forgot it gets dark early, so I don't know how that's going to affect like sailing away. And it's a little cloudy, but the temperature is actually great here in Port Canaveral. And I'm going to head back up on deck and see what Marlena and Jackson are doing. sail away party and it's raining. I don't know if we've ever had that happen before, but that's okay.
We decided to grab a slice of pizza and sit down and watch as we sailed away into the raininess. We experienced a lot of rocking as we left Port Canaveral on our way to Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic. I'm proud to report that after all this time, I apparently still have very good sea legs, or whatever you want to call it. It didn't bother me in the least. In fact, Jackson really didn't get bothered, but for some reason, Marlena got a little seasick. On this trip, we chose to do your time dining, which means we, of course, got to choose when we went to the dining room, checked in on our phones, and then they seated us. And the movement of the ship continued as we headed down to the dining room for our first dinner. We were a little concerned since Jackson can be a picky eater, but he ordered off the menu in the dining room and thoroughly enjoyed his food every night. After a wonderful first dinner, we explored the ship a little bit more and turned in a little bit early. We had to get rested up from the long drive down and get ready for a fun day at sea. And that's where I'll pick up in the second video. Make sure to check it out. Guys, I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.